mainly seeing that it can happen.
Yeah.
So before I set myself into the space of going back to school, I did some research. I said, there was a lot of opposition as to like, you're too old to go back to school, you don't have enough money to go back to school. And those are some of the conversations I either had with myself or even sharing my vision. I received
others had before you.
Yes. So don't listen to that.
Yeah. Hi everybody, it is 10 o'clock and welcome to the Jasmine Empower series. This week, like I said, amazing guests that I have planned for you guys. Isabel River is on her way into the studio. But yeah, she's on her way. And so I'm just thrilled for the guests that I have for this week. If you joined us yesterday, we did a workout yesterday, like as always on Mondays, 10 o'clock, workout time. And today, hearing the inspirational story of Isabel River, she's gonna be joining us soon. Tomorrow will be artist and a spoken word artist, Maestro Deshawn, and he's actually going to be going on tour this fall, so he will be coming and sharing with us. On Thursday, Cassandra Sampson, I'm actually working with her this Saturday for a free soccer workshop for kids that are underprivileged, that they get to know that they matter, that they are worth people coming and sharing and learning, and that they can have a rebirth in their dream again. So that's on Thursday. And then Friday, of course, Freedom Friday, we will be celebrating. I think I'm going to keep that guest a little special. But either way, today, I'm just so excited because part of my vision is obviously not just empowering people through my own story, but also empowering people by allowing them and giving them the space and the platform to share their own story. What's so interesting to me is how much we can find connection, one person to another, just by the simple fact of sharing our stories, sharing what we're passionate about, sharing what allowed us to make the change in our own lives. I think a lot of people that get into the motivational speaker business, it's because they had a way and a passion that their own story was motivating. So, like I said, we're going to be having Isabel. She's going to be joining us soon, waiting her to arrive in the studio. And Maestro Deshawn, spoken word artist, dreamer, he will be here tomorrow. And really, we're just going to be linda. Aww. Oi, bye. Oh my gosh, that's, anyways, for those of you that know Salomão, he was my father, my pai, when I was playing soccer in Brazil. He's an amazing artist, and he sings praise and worship and has a gorgeous voice. And here's Isabel right now. She's going to be joining us, but I love you. Eu te amo. Muito. Okay, and now we have Isabel River. I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here in the awesome spot. Hi, sorry, you're only seeing legs right now because we're both Amazon women. I'm so excited to see you. Yes, come and sit. Okay, perfect.
Absolutely happy
I'm gonna go ahead and just move this down just a little bit. There we go. So hi everybody. So now you can see the fullness of what's going on. If you're just joining us, this is the beautiful Isabel River. She's absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited for those of you that are joining today because, like I said, I want to create a space and a platform for not just my story to be heard, but for other people's stories to be heard as well, and not just their story, but also how they're going out into the world and empowering the world around them, how they're inspiring, how they're using their own story and turning what was meant for bad into nothing but good. So, without further ado, like I said, this is Isabel, and as I shared the picture, future doctor,
Yes.
woo woo, future doctor in the house, and as well as she is now a model and a spokesperson, the face of Priceless, which she will go ahead and get into that in a little bit, but Priceless is a beautiful nonprofit that actually empowers women. She's going to share a little bit more, but what an incredible opportunity.
Yes.
To have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
To be talking to you. I love it, the show. It's Facebook Live, but we're making it happen. And so just to give a little people here who are watching just a little bit of background, as far as just where you come from, like what inspired you to begin your path to be a doctor?
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So part of my journey, I've always wanted to be a doctor since I was a little girl, and due to family circumstances, I didn't go. I just didn't do it. And so, working through, having a 9-to-5, and I'm very grateful for my job, but I'm really looking for what makes Isabel.
Yeah.
And that was something that I look back 3-4 years ago, and I'm like, wow, I really want to be in a space of no regret. No regret. And so I was kind of fed up with myself. I was like thinking to myself, like, wow.
How many of us have done that? Like, I'm over it.
Yes. And so I came into a space of really wanting to set myself free. And I think that has always been the basis. Like, how does Isabel get free? It's basically doing what I want to do. And being a doctor was one of them. So I just did it. I did some training, and through a lot of our leadership programs,
right? Yes, of course.
We went through a lot of transitions and shifting into a really good time into setting what makes me me. And so that's where I came into going to UCLA. Right. UCLA are in the house. They're actually right down the street from where we are right now. Yes, and so I still work full time, and I'm doing part time at UCLA. Being able to do that kind of workload really just set me in a space of like pushing myself, challenging myself. Definitely comes from a lot of support from other women. So I definitely feel like giving back. I feel like empowering each other is so supportive. And mainly seeing that it can happen. So before I set myself into the space of going back to school, I did some research. I said, there was a lot of opposition as to like, you're too old to go back to school, you don't have enough money to go back to school. And those are some of the conversations I either had with myself or even sharing my vision. Others had before you. Yes. So don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. I'm glad I didn't. I'm in a year and a half into pre-med right now. And then it'll be another 4 years into getting to be a doctor. But just being able to, number one, like stand up for yourself and hone into your truth. That was huge for me. Because I didn't really use my voice. And so this is a beautiful platform, and I'm so appreciative that you gave this opportunity for me to speak, because it's so important. Like, I feel like when we are standing in our truth, we're really able to kind of set ourselves to be in a space of freedom, to be in a space of empowering ourselves. And so.
And I hear you. So those of you that are watching right now, or maybe you're just joining, like I said, Isabel River here, and what we're just sharing about is just, transitioning. Really what I feel like I'm hearing you say is just transitioning to finding the truth of your calling, finding the truth of really what's at your heart. And not allowing other conversations to stop you, whether they're coming from the inside or whether coming from externally on the outside. And, as we're going, you guys, if any of you guys have any questions that you want to ask Isabel or ask myself, feel free to come on the side. I'm actually going to check. Hi, Jasmine and Isabel. Hi, Omar.
Hello.
Yes, superheroes. Hi, Maestro. Actually, everybody who's that commented Maestro, he will be on tomorrow. Fantastic. But yeah, so one thing just for whomever's watching, what's one, and I get like finding your truth, but maybe what was the main way that you found was the breakthrough to the freedom? Like, what was maybe the biggest thing that you found was in the way? Like, was it, worthiness, or was it like lack of forgiveness for yourself, or was it, I know letting go of the past is part of it,
yes, but I think there was always this worthiness conversation. Even this, when I started declaring that I'm going to be going back to school, one of the things that came up for me was, you're going to declare to the world, and are you going to have enough strength? Are you going to have enough fortitude, conviction? Are you going to be able to stand up in the fire when you don't feel like it?
Right. That's the main one. Look, people, vision is one thing, but you don't always feel like doing it. But leaders don't feel like doing it and do it anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So my worthiness conversation was really, am I good enough? Am I good enough to be a doctor? Am I confident enough? Will I be able to provide the care that people deserve? And so those were my conversations. And also, I'm being as old as I am, or as young as I am.
Right.
It was definitely a stepping stone, looking at other people and finding inspiration that there has been people.
Yeah.
That have done exactly what I've done, and I'm so inspired, and so it gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, like we talked about redemption, on multiple levels, but redemption is something that you can always seek. It doesn't have to be today or tomorrow. It's eventually, but you're still seeking it. And so what was really resonated with me was living on purpose, and that's what I felt. That's the reason why I do modeling.
Yeah.
The reason why I do modeling is to inspire women through beauty, through grace, that you can inspire and attract and be able to receive, as well as provide the message, the motivational message, to be inspiring. I think that really helps and supports other women too.
Definitely. I love that, because like I said, if you guys missed our hug, once we post this, rewind it, watch it again, because it's like all legs. And what's so awesome is that it's like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I feel as well that just as being women in beauty, even men in beauty, right? It's kind of like this elusive thing where it's like, if you are attractive, then you should feel some type of way about it. And or like what the world calls attractive, like, then you should feel some type of way about it. Or, if you're not attractive, you should feel some type of way about it. Right. And, I know a lot of my breakthrough has come from embracing everything of who I am, and not just what's on the inside, but like what's on the outside, whether that's attractive or whatever, like, and actually being like, what? No, like, I am, I did not mean to plug this in, but one of my things is too beautiful to hide. And so it's like, yes, I'm beautiful, yes, I'm amazing, but I also have this amazing vision. And I think a lot of times, especially in women, I mean, men too, they get it as well, but I feel like especially for women, there's kind of this lack of being able to be seen as a whole entity. Yes. That, like, yes, I'm a future doctor. Yes, I'm gorgeous and I'm a model. And yes, I speak for women empowerment, and still wanting the values of family and all. There's a whole kaleidoscope, and I feel like it's so beautiful, and especially with all what's going on in the world right now. To be honest, it's like, here's the thing. If you're like hating on somebody, like in my experience, if you're hating on somebody, it's because you're hating on yourself.
Pretty much, yeah.
Reconnect. There we go. If you're hating on somebody, then it's because you're really hating on yourself. I feel as though a strong person, a brave person, doesn't have to make somebody else wrong to feel right.
Exactly.
And so a lot of worthiness, guys, I feel a lot of things that have been happening, the different judgment, the different discrimination, the different hate crimes that have been going on, really it's a reflection of, I gotta show that somebody else is wrong so I can be right, instead of just saying, hey, I'm already right and perfect and beautiful and whole the way that I am. Exactly. So what I hear you saying is like, you're creating space for other women and other people to realize they can be whole.
They can be whole.
Yeah, and beautiful and shine. Yeah.
Yeah. It took. I mean, just circling back on being a model. Like I've been told that since I was young, and I didn't really believe it. You know, I was kind of like the awkward duckling. I'm kind of shy and reserved, and I really didn't really use my voice because I quite frankly didn't think that, you know, I really had one, or I didn't deserve to speak, or whatever. I was just like, you could say I was afraid of my own shadow at one point in time.
Okay.
And this was really young. And now I'm in a place where, like, wow, I do have legs. Wow, I have a smile. I have a bubbly personality. I am you know, and realizing that one is you don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to act a certain way. You're just just you. You're original the way you are. God gave you beautiful, you know. Just this space of wanting to give back. And if I had a mentor when I was younger who said, you know, Isabel, like, or somebody to inspire me that said, hey, you're beautiful the way you are and you can do whatever you set your mind to, how bad do you want it, is the first question. And second of all, are you willing to take the necessary steps to do it? And so my whole thing is that, you know, at the end of the day, I want to be able to give back, you know, to a community and to the world. And it's the reason why I chose to be a doctor, was to wanting to be in service is such a beautiful space of giving, and it makes me really happy. And I feel like being a model will be able to attract that message and provide the space for other people to take a look at, you know, in their lives what they can achieve. Yeah,
what they can achieve, and even as now, like I said, for those of you that are joining us, Isabel, if you have any questions while we're going along, feel free to, you know, write it in the comments section on the side. I'll make sure that we get to it in the end. But you know, and I think at times, you know, some women or men can be resistant to, you know, using all facets of yourself to really wholeheartedly jump into what you're giving, you know. And I think that it's so courageous to be like, yes, like I'm a model, I'm a face, and I'm gonna put myself out there. And the beautiful thing is, like, I think a lot of times when we realize how important it is for somebody else, like what could be accomplished for somebody out there, then I feel like it inspires. I know for me personally, it inspires me, like when I'm having those doubts and I'm having those, like, does my voice matter, or am I worthy enough? I'm just like, no. Like, I am a gift that is perfect for somebody, and somebody out there gets to hear what I have to say. Not only gets to, but some people need it. Like, they literally need it. Like, I always use this idea that it's like, if there's enough space in the sky, in the universe, for all those stars to shine, and they all shine differently, they're all made up differently, it's like, if there's all that space up there, surely there's enough space in this world for you to shine and for me to shine, and to not, like I said, and not hate on each other, not try to backstab or cut each other down. I know, especially for women, I feel like that's like a hard concept. It's like, if she's winning and she's shining or she's getting the attention, well, then what's left for me?
There's enough attention to go around for everyone. What I've realized is, like, especially when it comes to shining your light. The biggest quote that I have, and I've always been, like, you know, shine your light so you can set other people free. And it goes back to freedom. It goes back to setting yourself free financially, you know, personally, with your family. How deep are your connections with your relationships with your friends, your family, and leaving that legacy behind, so that other people could be like, wow, you know, she did it, I can do it too.
I can do it too. Exactly.
And so that's one of the biggest things for me. We talked about a little bit of Priceless, and Priceless, I fell in love with, is a nonprofit organization that empowers women through advocacy and dance therapy. And it's also in that space of, you know, helping trauma victims. And I fell in love with it. My position there will be becoming the lead officer there, and reviewing and supporting the organization's vision. But one of the things I fell in love with was just that the fact that there's organizations out there that are in that support of helping women and supporting women.
Yeah.
And we get to support each other in our local communities, right?
Yeah.
And especially when you have sisters and moms.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really one of the biggest things, is being able to really come to some kind of alignment with yourself.
Yeah.
And being able to say, you know, enough is enough. Like, how am I going to live like this? Is this really truly living? And so that's one of my biggest things.
Yeah, and you know, I love that. And what's so beautiful is, like, there are so many, you guys, nonprofits that are already out there. Like, of course, it's all, if you have an idea, start it. That's phenomenal. Let me know. But, you know, there's so many different ways, whether it's women or teenagers or, you know, babies or the elderly or the veterans, or there's so many different things that are out there. And what I'm hearing from you is, like, like, for people, to encourage people, like, what tugs at your own heartstrings, and to be able to follow that music to whatever that's going to be. So it's, and to be open to that, to the giving, or the getting is in the giving.
That is so true.
If you don't know what that's like, come join me after church on Sunday, and we give to food to homeless people every single Sunday at 12:30, and just to connect with people, and they're people. People are people.
Yes, people are people.
People are people. And so what I love is Isabel shared with me that she's going to be going to India to do some service there, as well as the Dominican Republic. So share with people just a little bit about what that's about.
So Dominican Republic is a shadowing program, and I love to travel. So part of my biggest passions is modeling and also dancing Brazilian Zouk around the world, which is what I got an opportunity to do last year. This year I really wanted to hone in on being a doctor and being in service. And so some of the skills that I wanted to just really hone in is being in service, and shadowing doctors in the Dominican Republic will be just an amazing. I will be there for a week in the maternity ward, working closely with doctors, perhaps supporting delivery of babies, which is something that I see myself doing in the future. India is really I'm going to be going to Dharamsala, India for about 2.5 weeks at the end of December, and it's a really special space for me because I was born in a refugee camp, and my parents went through war, they went through famine, starvation. I mean, it was just the atrocities and the amount of violence that they had seen in their life. I'm so very grateful that I got this opportunity to give back. It's a child care program that I'm volunteering, and what really pulled my heartstrings was the children that I get to work with are Tibetan refugees, and it really resonated with me because I'm a refugee too. And being able to help and mentor, that was something that just lit me up like a firecracker.
Like, I cannot pass this up. Totally got you.
So definitely that. And it's a really beautiful spiritual space for me. A part of my growth in allowing myself to be open and really seeing what I was aligned to was being open to feedback, being open to achievements, and like putting things on paper and setting goals and setting visions and seeing a vision board and making things happen for me. So India was just like I could not like pass this opportunity up to serve. So
gosh, that is so amazing. I love it. You know, even when I hear like vision board and all that, like, it just gets me excited. Okay. And here's what I encourage you guys, like, you know, these are some of the things that, you know, tug at your heart, like how we said, and different things that matter to you. But I encourage you guys, like, what matters to you? Because honestly, it is needed in the world, and I cannot stress that enough. You know, sometimes I think when we hear a no from somebody, we think, oh, then everybody's gonna tell me no. Or, okay, what I have is not needed. When really, you are a yes somewhere. Somewhere in life, you are a yes to someone, to some career, to a job, to a child. You are a yes. And so I encourage you that whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's like you said, even whether was I going to be able to be a doctor or even a model. And what I feel like, and this is what I'm hearing from Isabel, is like a lot of what I hear from you is just you needed to say yes.
Yes.
Like you needed to realize to yourself that you were a yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that I am worth living for. I'm a person that has so much to offer in this world, and I've offered and offered, but also the biggest yes is that I get to receive.
Yeah.
The biggest yes is that I get to surrender and trust. That was the biggest yes for me.
Oh, surrender? What are you talking about?
And that, I get to trust that the universe, because of what I'm putting out there, I'm going to get in 10 times fold, and just this blissful state of being.
Yeah.
I really felt like one of the things that called me to really wake up was that I've been living kind of haphazard and in survival mode. That was really like, waking up in the morning and not having a clear vision, not waking up in the morning, not being motivated. I was like, this is really not living.
Yeah. You're like, so I'm living just to be here. Okay, great. And you know what, guys, like, what's so beautiful, and thank you for being vulnerable to share that, honestly, because whether you have a powerful vision or not, sometimes there are those doubts, or there's those lulls that happen where it's just like, no, I'm unclear, I don't know what I'm doing, and you just kind of lull yourself in that, and it takes courage to wake yourself up and to be like, or and sometimes it's like an awakening that happens for some of us. Like I know for me especially, having my son Paul, that was a huge wake-up moment for myself as far as the woman that I was intentionally becoming at the time. A lot of my life before my son was just like, oh, well, that sounds fun. I could do that. And playing professional soccer and like being on your way to be a WWE diva, like those are amazing things. I'm not saying I wasn't up to amazing things, but now I feel like the game is so much bigger. And so I feel like sometimes there are moments where we just get to wake ourselves up, but there's also times where things literally in our life happen to where it is a wake-up call, and you got to decide, am I going to hit the snooze button, or am I actually going to wake up and live this life? So really quickly, I just want to check this and make sure. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys. This is amazing. Oh, thank you guys so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, we're going to just close up with some stuff, but like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me scroll through this really quickly just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, awesome. If you guys do have any questions for Isabel, just as far as, what was, about being a refugee, or on her pursuit to be a doctor, or traveling, doing nonprofit, anything like that, or are interested in, just women empowerment or supporting anything like that, just make sure you put it in the comments on the side.
Definitely.
But just in closing, what would you want to say to somebody who is having those worthiness conversations or that self-doubt? What would you say to them to encourage them to just take one step forward?
I think one step forward for me was that these are the fears that it's in your mind, right? These are not actual true fears. Meaning we can break through from them. So my invitation to you would be that you are a powerful, worthy human being, worthy of so many beautiful gifts, and that you just get to trust that you will be received wholeheartedly because you say so, because you want that. And that's what I would say.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Last thing that I will say on that, just about speaking into fear. If you're having fears or doubts right now, I love that acronym of fear, false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
And so what I'm hearing from Isabel right now is that, a lot of times our fear is literally just in our minds. Yes. And, what's beautiful is that it's not it's not enough for us to tell you that you're worthy, for, you know, the boyfriend that you have, or the girlfriend, or the husband, or the wife, or the mother, or the father, or the friend. And everybody around you can tell you how worthy you are, but until you find that out for yourself, as soon as you decide that this false evidence is not real, that those are things of the past, and that's not who you are right now, when you decide that, watch out.
Yes.
Because then the next F letter word will be freedom. I see this on the side here, so I just want to make sure. For Isabel, when you want to hit the snooze button on those hard days, what is the thought that gets you in action?
Oh,
that's a beautiful question.
Thank you so much for that question. Responsibility. Responsibility is such a huge thing, because I'm not just living for myself. I'm living for, like, I have moms and dads that are, I have an organization that's counting on me. People look to me.
Yeah.
And I find that responsibility gets me out of bed. It's saying, you know, Isabel, don't be lazy. Like, who else are you going to, you know, let down if you just say no? You just continue. No, there's so many people that are in my care, that look up to me, that look forward to me, and so I think that really grounds me into stepping into a space of pushing myself.
Yeah.
And then I look towards my vision. I mean, like, I got lots of things to do. There's no time to sit down and hit the snooze button, you know?
Yes. Oh my gosh. You know what I love is, you know, as soon as, thank you so, Omar, that is such a beautiful question. What I love is, I remember there were times, especially like with my personality, like my highs are high and my lows are super low, right? I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything, which is so not even the truth. But what I love is that, like, I used to so enjoy my pity parties. Like,
yes.
I used to enjoy my pity parties. Like, I would just be like, oh my gosh, nothing's working. And it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be like, nothing's working, and the day is already, like, you know. But I used to love pity parties. But I totally hear what you're saying. So whether you're hitting the snooze button and wanting to hit the snooze button in that moment, or, you know, literally in the morning, I feel like, yeah, when I focus on others, when I focus on my vision and how I'm going to impact people, how I'm going to change lives through what I'm doing, then it's like, I ain't got time for this. Like, I ain't got time for this. I can experience what I'm experiencing. I can be in it. I can say, okay, yay. I'm in breakdown, or yay, I'm freaking crying right now. Or I'm yelling and I'm angry. Whatever the breakdown is, you're like, yes, fantastic, I'm having a snoozable moment. But then, honestly, once I had already experienced the freedom from the fear of things, it was just like my pity parties weren't fun anymore. They really weren't. And I was like, am I sad about my pity parties? Not really.
I mean, did you get into a space of like, wow, I'm doing that again. Okay, that's nice. And it's gonna become old. And so you already know, it's like we always give the example of the Matrix, you already know what that door is opening up to.
Yes.
You already know. You've been through
that.
That's so good. You've been through that path already. You already know.
Which rabbit hole are you going to choose? I love it. No, but it's so true though, and that's the comfortability, right? That's the comfortability. That's like the life that we get used to is like, oh, well, this is what I already know is the snooze button. I already know what's going to happen if I hit the snooze button.
Exactly.
But the red pill or the blue pill? Which one do I want to take?
Exactly.
And what I'm hearing you say, and I think what we're going to sign off with, is just fall in love with the unknown.
Yes.
Fall in love with the adventure of life. You have one to live.
And fall in love with yourself.
Yes. Fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with the heartstrings that get pulled, the music that makes you sing, that makes you get up in the morning.
Exactly.
Omar, I hope that supports you and everybody who's watching. And honestly, just thank you everybody who joined.
Thank you.
Feel free to make sure that you check out Priceless, that nonprofit organization. Watch out for Isabel, man. She is on her way, empowering women and just empowering pretty much anybody, I hear you, that comes into her path. Watch out when Dr. River is in the house, and not only will you get a physical healing, you will also get an emotional, spiritual healing as well. Yes. So thank you all for joining. Again, if you still have any questions, feel free to comment below. It's Facebook Live. We're here. We can always, send a message to you back. Definitely. For any questions. Thank you guys for all the love going on right now. Feel free to share this with somebody today that needs encouragement, somebody that, is maybe facing fear or doubt or I can't conversation. Share that with them, and join me again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We will be here with, like I said, spoken word artist Maestro Deshaun, a fellow dreamer, and he will be sharing what he's up to and how he's changing and empowering the world. So thank you for everybody who joined us. Much love. This is Jasmine Empowers. Have a blessed day, guys. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, I hope that you were really inspired, encouraged, and empowered by today's message. Do you think you could use a little bit more of that in your life? Well, cool. I've got a whole channel's worth. So why don't you click down on the red button below and subscribe to my channel.